Red leather, brown leather, red
Ha! Ha!
brown leather.
Okay.
I don't think his voice is ready.
Hello.
You are listening to The Bomb Hole.
Bomb Hole Podcast.
It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody.
The Bomb Hole.
So I'm a hot little potato right now.
Holy shit, was that an inverted cancer in Haiti with a melon grass? That bitch is crazy.
Okay, we are back at the Bomb Hole. It's the usual suspects, myself, Stony Buds.
What up?
How we doing, Buds?
Doing pretty good today, man.
Nice.
Feeling good, excited about this show we're about to have.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited about our guest. We have the Southwick Kid, Western Mass's finest, Mr. Chris Beresford. How we doing, Chris?
I'm hanging in there, thinking I should be mowing my lawn, to be honest. But
Perfect. Well, we're happy to have you sitting in the seat today, Barry. Normally we just like to throw it right back to where you grew up.
I grew up in Southwick, Massachusetts. It's a motocross town. That's what it's known for. And I assumed as a kid everybody rode dirt bikes. That I just all my friends did, and it's funny to wake up and you realize real life isn't dirt bikes. That happened at a certain age, and I was like, oh crap, I really thought everybody rode dirt bikes.
But the thing that's amazing that you have that I envy is that you can wheelie for eternity. When you're
Is that why you can wheelie like that?
when you're 12 years old and you can wheelie for eternity, you're basically the man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the big,
that
big
was
deal right there.
really my first goal in life. I definitely, my cousin Zach, he's insane BMX rider, and he could ride wheelies. He always based it off telephone pole lengths, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he could go for 5, 6.
Yeah, there was always that kid
and I was
that can do that.
3 or 4 years younger than him, and I just, at age 7, I was just trying to pop him up, and
That was the
once
first goal you had to conquer.
I finally flipped over backwards, and I was like, fuck yeah, I got this, I landed on my back, and I was it hurt, but I was excited,
Success story of a 12 o'clock boy.
Yeah.
Yes, there should be actually an ESPN 30 for 30 on Beresford's wheelies exclusively.
An exclusive.
Exclusive.
It's fun because I try to help people learn them, and it's just time.
I'm a little bit past.
I'll tell you what, he's not doing a good
Progression
job with me. I've been trying
that's what I'm
stuff. I'm not getting any younger, man. I still
I
can't wheel.
can't even get the wheel up, and if I do, I just fall over at this point, dude.
It's
I
really
need a training wheel in the back. Just
wheelie bar.
wheelie
that's
bar.
what
Yeah.
those are. I always wondered. Where is Southwick? I'm from Vermont.
It's
I don't.
there's
know
this
exactly.
little nipple that hangs off of Massachusetts, and that's Southwick.
On
It's
Western Massachusetts.
Can you milk
Southwest.
this
Southwest.
Yeah.
Can you milk the nipple?
You probably could.
nipple? So it's
Because there is a good sized lake.
What'd you say? Western Mass?
Milkable nipple.
It's literally on the Connecticut border. It's
A lot of people like to say they're, kind of
They're a little close to Connecticut.
they're a little too close to Connecticut
we're on
for
the line.
comfort.
They're calling you Flatlanders down there.
we got hills,
Yeah.
little hills.
In Vermont, when those Connecticut people come in, it's over. They don't stop.
There's
making fun
there's
of them.
words for those people.
Yeah. So you're not quite one of those people.
They
You're
have
just close to the border.
They got the Cadillac Escalade,
Yeah.
and they think they can do 90 when it's snowing, and you're
they own
see?
half the houses in Vermont as it is, probably.
Yeah, but you see them in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, they can't even drive.
Yeah.
So, growing up in Mass, I remember you had a kind of a brutal, you had a tougher upbringing probably than the average kid, right?
Yeah, but when you don't know, it's normal.
Yeah, that's your normal.
Yeah. It's my mom passed away when I was 5 from leukemia, and it was I was so young. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the casket, which is gnarly.
Yeah.
And I remember I drew a piece of art, and she loved water skiing.
Yeah.
And I remember I used dental floss for the rope going to her. This is kind of gnarly, but
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But you don't remember her
I don't
passing.
remember any of it.
Dude, I think you just blacked that kind of stuff out, man.
I know, being so young,
Yeah.
Yeah.
5.
being young. I mean, I don't remember when I was 5.
Yeah, but that's such
A heavy
that's
event,
a
though.
super traumatic for
But
a
I
5-year-old
remember,
kid,
funeral, but I remember this dental floss, and my babysitter at the time was this lady, Bobby Johnson, like, and I remember making it there, like, and she lived on the lake where my dad and my mom had a boat, and like they loved that.
That's crazy. You remember that, but not.
But I don't remember anything. You know?
Yeah.
That's got to be so tough for a kid growing up, like
leaving
their mom, and then
I think I was. You just don't know. You don't know anything.
That's your normal.
Yeah,
that becomes normal.
Like watching my dad afterwards is like. That even took time to realize this isn't normal, you know?
Do you have memories of your mom?
Barely.
Yeah.
Like, no, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
And would you say that kind of wrecked your dad when that happened?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think she was like the anchor, you know, and like he needed her to like stay afloat, you know, like, and he just like, just downhill, you know, like they had like the life, like they had nice cars, house, you know, like middle class, like great life where like, and like it just over the next 10 years, like I watched my dad, like he's selling his boat and but then he like bought the shitty RV and I'm like, what? And like, it was just like, and then like everything was gone, you know, it was gone.
Was your dad working during the time? Or?
I was, no.
Was he working before your mom passed?
They both had really good jobs at this place
both
called Hamilton Standard. It was like
they worked at the same place.
Yeah, they do. It's like aerospace, like.
Oh, geez.
I've learned actually a lot more about it now, like because I'm interested. You know?
Well, that actually makes sense. So it's probably hard for him to go back to work if they worked at the same place.
I heard a story from like my grandma or something, and he's like, fuck you guys, because he like when my mom passed away, there was like insurance money, and he just like took this money and he was like, I'm gonna start my own business, and he just like
I'm out.
And he did nothing.
Yeah, that's got to be really tough for a kid to go from having a stable family, everything's normal, like you got a taste of it, and then essentially, from the way I understand it, from where I've heard it from you, your dad kind of pissed it all away to the point where you guys didn't have anything.
Oh God, it went from like, you know, having this house and like all the toys, like, and then at age 13, it was just like we're living in the basement of this other lady's house. You know, like he had to file Chapter 11, or I think that's what it is. Like,
yeah, you had to move out of your house too.
Well, he foreclosed or whatever, and like lost like everything. We had to move. We went from like having a 3-bedroom home, like in like a cool neighborhood, like where like that's where I learned like a lot of my life, like skateboarding, riding my bike, you know, wheelies. like wheelies. Yeah. I used to like rip. I had a snowmobile as a kid. And it's funny to look back at because I would ride it for hours just around the yard. And it's like not a big yard.
Yeah.
The neighbors must have been pissed. Yeah. You know, like, I would go as like, I don't even know like what would ever tell me to stop. I feel like
you feel bad if I start my snowmobile in the yard, I feel bad. You
know,
now their whole neighborhood out.
Yeah. Now I'm like my neighbors are super cool, but I'm like, no, you can't ride the dirt bike around the yard right now, you know?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then, from what I understand, what you told me is just, it kind of like things kind of progressively just got worse financially for your family, right? To where you're kind of left
it's just my dad, and like
he like never went back to work.
No, and then like I don't know what the time frame was, but he like he worked for this like lumber yard that he made pallets.
Yeah.
And like I think it was like $10 an hour or something, you know, and like that didn't.
He was just wrecked from your mom passing away.
Yeah, and I mean he still is. Yeah. To this day.
And they were in love, and you lose that. It's some people never come back. I mean, that's a hard thing.
I get it.
It's the hardest thing you can go through.
It's like I understand him. You know, like it's like when there's a certain point in life where you're like, dude, just get it together. But like
he just wasn't there for you. He never pulled it.
He was there in the sense of like he made sure like my friends were around. He would cook us burgers.
Yeah.
But like I didn't realize like how gnarly it was. Mm-hmm. You know, like he would literally have like $20 to his name towards like the end of like when I was, 12, 13.
Yeah.
And he would make sure we ate. But he'd make sure he had enough for like a 6-pack too, you know. It was like
one thing I remember you telling me too is you grew up racing dirt bikes. You got rooms full of trophies, And what were you telling me about the trophies? I thought that was kind of insane.
I don't remember winning any of the trophies.
What?
It's like I remember because my dad would like this is shitty to say, but he would drink all day, and like I was more worried about how we were gonna get home than like my success on the motocross track, you know? Like,
wow, and as a kid, those are your thoughts. You weren't even thinking about winning.
No, I mean, that was like,
yeah.
I only have
You're
one
like, I hope we can get home after.
I've kind of had one speed my whole life, and it's like, go.
Do this.
You know, like and on a dirt bike, it was like, at that point, I rode a lot, and I just would go. I wasn't like...
And you would win these things, and then it wasn't even a big thing for you. You're
worried
like,
about the DUI on the way home.
Yeah. Like, I remember, and then I got, like, really into BMX racing, and we got pulled over in the middle of Westfield, where Scott's from. It was a Friday night, and my dad had this RV at the time, and he just get the cops behind him. He just opens up the door, gets out, and he's, what do you fucking want from me? Like, and he's hammered. Like,
he's hammered.
Yeah. And like, he got off. It was like, it was fine.
They
were
crazy.
Like, I think, I don't,
because your kids were around maybe.
Yeah. I feel like it wasn't
bad.
Registered or something, you know? It was like,
he could just go in the back of the RV, and then it was a house, and it was different laws maybe.
He like,
probably why he bought it, smart guy.
He is pretty damn smart.
Yeah,
but I always thought what was cool, like coming around, because I started hanging around you guys in high school, and it seemed like almost like all your friends, like your good friends, kind of took you in because your home life wasn't good. So like Austin's mom, was a complete sweetheart over Austin Granger's and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, it was like, but that was another like part of my life to look back at that wasn't normal, but seemed super normal.
Yeah,
like I had Granger's family, Colson's, and the Solaks, and there is one buddy, Justin Solak, who's a cousin of the younger ones that I hung out with, but he's like having somebody 4 years older than you, that like he kind of like showed me the way in certain ways. Like he was super into BMX riding, and we love like hit dirt jumps. That was like our thing, and he knew what was going on in my life before I knew, like he was like, he just kind of like set me in a direction, and it's like, we still like talk here and there, but he doesn't really know like how much I appreciate that now, It's
crazy looking back on those formative years, like when you're super young, like 12 to 15 and or what, even younger, when somebody has a positive impact on you, it totally like is like,
he
can change your whole life.
Yeah.
He wasn't like the 16-year-old kid that's like, hey, dude, like, you should, like, smoke some pot or, like, drink a beer. He was like, he's like, stay in your lane. Let's, like, let's build this jump, and, like, we're going to have fun on it for, like, a while, like, and, like, that was really cool to, like, to grow up. And, like, I was super lucky in that sense of having, like, really good people around me.
Yeah. Yeah, it always seemed like Austin's mom was, like, she had a motherly role whenever we go over there. She was like so welcoming.
Yeah, like through high school, I bet I slept at Austin's house more than I slept like in this crappy apartment with my dad. Like
your dad wouldn't even care if you didn't come home. Or...
Yeah, he would care sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there was moments when like I would come home and like all my shit would be outside. Like that was his way of like being like, you didn't follow my rules, and I'm like, okay, like
so you would throw all your stuff
yeah,
outside.
Like he would, like my computer, I had like a compact, and I could like, I was like, I've kind of always been a hustler.
Compact.
And I used to burn CDs and like sell them at school.
Really?
Yeah. And it was just funny.
Been a hustler since day one, huh?
Yeah, like this, I'm talking like Napster, like that time. Like I was downloading and like, oh, you want to mix? I got you. $5.
I haven't heard Napster in a minute. I forgot about those days. Throwback. And then also I kind of vaguely remember, I don't know if I was a part of this, but when like Scott and people like, just as jumping forward a little bit, but they would go to pick you up, you'd always like, when you were staying at your Grams, you'd be embarrassed or meet.
Well, that was more where my dad's spot was.
Oh, that was your dad's spot. Okay.
My grandma's like was clean, which is dope.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like that also like changed my like ways, like seeing what my dad, hoarder, grandma, like super neat.
And at some point you moved into your grandmother's house.
I did like around 18.
Oh, okay. That was later.
17, 18 maybe. And, but I remember this one time vividly. Scott and Ross came over to like meet up with me and Granger, I think my buddy Anderson. And I was trying to divert them so they didn't see actually where I live, because it looks like I live in a house, you know? And I was just like embarrassed that I didn't want them to like walk in and be like, holy shit. Like,
see that it wasn't a house like they lived in.
It's like living right here, you know? Like,
hey, easy, dude. This place is pretty sick.
No, but I'm just saying like stove, sink, bathroom.
You. Oh, copy. Yeah.
Bedroom, living room. Like this
in the size of the garage.
Yeah, like 2,000 or 200 square feet.
Yeah. Crazy. That's crazy. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you almost say that since your home life wasn't good, you were drawn to the snowboarding as your escape kind of thing, or like as an outlet?
Snowboarding was my first choice in life. It wasn't like bought. It was bought for me. My grandma got me my first board, but it was my choice that I wanted it. Like everything else was like, hey, you should do this.
You should race dirt bikes.
Yeah, you should have. You
I
know,
got
like,
it. Yeah.
What
and like
got you stoked to be like, I want to snowboard?
Granger.
Oh, nice.
I skied.
Austin.
Granger.
Yeah. I ski, and my another friend of mine, Steve Broska. I was still skiing, and they both like Granger. I kind of knew he was from Southwick, and we played street hockey. Like we were on different teams, and I was like, dude, that dude snowboards. Like, I knew, you know, and it was.
Granger's been a ledge since day one, huh?
Like he had a Burton chopper or something. And I was like, damn, dude, you know.
So sick. You guys had your Western Mass crew. It was like Scott Stevens, Ross Phillips, Austin Granger, just to name a few.
Well,
right?
we had like our Southwick crew.
Okay.
It was like me, Grange, Colson's, like Brett and Billy, Chris Anderson, and we were making our own little videos, which is
you're already making videos.
Yeah. We like started with that.
Yeah,
like it was
right
like,
from the get go.
Maybe like I snowboarded 2 years, probably 13. We like full film.
Yeah,
we had like 90 back threes in it. You know, like it was like it was like back three, and then I think I learned backflips that year. And then it was like we didn't know like you like moved the clips around.
Yeah,
it was just like however they're labeled, drop them in the timeline.
There it is.
Yeah.
Granger would print out these shitty like sequences and label, and he's terrible at spelling. And on his fridge at his parents' house, it said it was a screenshot sequence of a front three, and it said front three tall grab, TALL, because he was trying to write tail. Like
honestly, it's probably still on the refrigerator.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
that's so
but he was also grabbing Tindy. Yeah. That's the funny part. Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah. Legend. Like all of us, for myself at least, it seemed like when we linked up with Scott, he was kind of like blazing the trail for our crew, right?
Oh yeah,
Scotty Stevens.
Yeah, Scott Stevens.
Scott was the kind of like, he had a much bigger plan than everybody. You know, he like was like at 15, you know, like he always had a camera, but he was always like in some ways I'm happy I'm not like him, and I'm stoked for him because he is so like obsessed with like skateboarding and snowboarding, and I watch like his success is from that. You know, like he really, really gave 110% in every aspect of those two things.
Yeah, straight up. I've just for myself the osmosis of watching him get tricks and just like not take no for an answer and be just relentless in trying tricks and being obsessed with watching videos. Like it almost wore off on all of us, I feel like.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, like I didn't, you know, like I was just like snowboarding was a hobby at the early days, you know, like it was like, oh, it's winter, like can't ride my bike. Let's do this, you know, like I would, after school, we would just like build jumps in like Granger's front yard and like I used to stack logs up and build a jump in my backyard.
That's
like
sick.
Those are like my earliest days. Like I have photos of me just like full suitcase grabs, like, and I was like nailing it in my mind, you know, like this high off the ground. You know?
I remember coming and filming with you guys in Western Mass. You guys just had the shittiest spots.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like
so bad.
Well, it's funny because I was telling Melissa this the other day, and I was like, we watch a video, and we just thought, okay, I know there's a rail over here.
Yeah.
We didn't know there was good rails.
Yeah, you're
we didn't know
a rail's
like
a rail.
Yeah. Like we didn't know like there's different pitches or like there's safer ones or you know it was like there's a kink rail. I saw it in a movie. I'm gonna hit that. You know,
makes sense.
And it's like still to the like now I'm like what the hell were we?
Things were a little less calculated back then.
Oh no, you just build a wedge out of sugar snow and just see what happens. You know, like
yeah, some of those old bales Scott has logged, like of all of us, are insane.
that one of Ollie.
Where the box
at UMass where he tries to gap out.
Oh my god, insane!
Yeah. Like,
Rogue
what
pony.
the fuck was he thinking? You know, like
Is this footage we can get a hold of at some point?
Yeah,
Stevens
just
has all this.
He's got a hard drive. He's actually probably getting weed transferred right now. Yeah,
yeah.
As we freaking
as his baby's born. He's like,
is this kid due right now?
Yeah, he's
soon.
Yeah. Really, really sick. I was gonna throw back to then. I remember we having some good days with you up at Mount Snow.
Yeah, Mount Snow like. That was more like after I got my license, you know, and that was my, like, I worked these jobs and I would work and I'm like, all right, if I work all week, like after school, I can buy a lift ticket. That was the goal. That was like,
that's so sick.
Earliest
Mount Snow is a good spot too.
Yeah. And like back then it like, I'm sure now we would like the same jumps we were hitting then. We'd be like, dude, that thing is sketchy, but we were just willing to fly off of anything. Like I mean, those were like pivotal moments.
Yeah.
Where it was like, we all learned.
Yeah.
Like all, you know, it was.
You rode option for option snowboards at the time.
That was my
right?
first like free board.
Yeah.
It was from Max Marvon Bod. He sent me an option. And
how'd you get him to send you this board? You sent him
I worked at Fat Tracks, a snowboard shop, and they, I mean, I get it now, like so much more. They're like, "Hey, we hooked this dude up. He's gonna sell our shit." You know, like when but I didn't like know that. You know, I was like,
you're like, I am. You're
no
like,
idea.
I am on the fucking team.
Yeah. No, like Dragon had hooked me up. I had like a fucking hoodie and like 2 pairs of goggles, maybe not even, maybe one and like 2 pairs of sunglasses. And
crazy
how
exciting that is for a young kid.
I probably sold like 100 pairs of Dragon DXs that year. Like straight up, I was like, "You want these? You want these?" And like, it worked.
It works.
You used to rep that rugby. That thing was swag, dude.
I think I just always knew what I liked.
Yeah,
you know, like if I like something clicked, I was like, "Yeah, I like that." And like with snowboarding, when it went to the tight pants phase, I was like, "This isn't why I started snowboarding." I kept wearing the straight cut
That's
pants.
good because there was those other kids that just would flip their style.
I watched that
and
I remember being like, no, I started snowboarding because it was like baggy and they look cool and like this doesn't look cool to me.
It used to be like G code versus E code. Like if you like actually Eastone was on the forefront of that with Tech 9.
I rode for Tech 9. Like I got a box.
Really?
Not rode, but
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Snuck through the ranks.
I got bindings. I got bindings and a full sweat kit.
Dude, like that's dope. The sweatpants.
Some cum catchers.
Yeah.
Some cum catchers.
Who knows where those went, but I wish I had.
Those were pretty dope.
Okay, we're gonna jump into a fun little section we like to call "Name That Video" part. Yeah, what do you think, Barry? Get right into it.
We'll see.
You brought some good. You brought some goods
I feel
too.
Like he's gonna be pretty good at this.
You brought some goods for the winter. We have some bomb hole gear as well as some dam gear.
Yeah, a pair of shades and a hat.
Perfect. So as always, first song is for the guests. Second song is for the listeners. Okay, here we go. Name that video part. Okay. I hope you are focused up, Barry. Here we go.
Stop. But or is it Bertner?
You're right. Right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But can you name the part?
Stack footy?
Close.
Or is it the one before? It's that one.
Thanks, Brain.
Thanks, Brain.
That is an acceptable.
Acceptable answer.
And like always, you are awarded with nothing. I just want to let you know that.
No, I appreciate it. I really enjoy this.
But you did win. You did win.
You won.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's for the listeners. Focus up. It's short. I want you on your toes. All right, coming at you.
That was short.
Yeah.
But you should be able to get that. That's a iconic part. Iconic.
It's got to be early.
I don't want to give it away. We're gonna keep moving.
Doesn't want to give it away.
Once again, I'd like to say thank you for playing Name That Video part. God, I love the theme show music. It's just fun. It's just a fun experience.
It reminds me of like skipping school when I was a young kid because you'd sit and all those kind of shows were on.
Yeah, like The Price is Right.
Yeah.
You're
kind of like, what am I even doing here?
I was
you
like
fake
watching
sick.
these. Yeah, you fake sick.
You're just like, Mom.
Everyone finally leaves the house. You turn on the TV, and that's all that's on.
I remember watching The Price is Right, and I was like, $4.99. You know, like for the fucking whatever Lysol or something. You know, like.
So to keep things moving here, we started filming video parts on the East Coast in those early years, and it seems like when you went to Hood is when things kind of got skyrocketed when you got a job at High Cascade.
Yeah, I mean that was a defining moment in my life, like because I was 20 years old, and Scott was like, "Hey, you should get a job here," and I applied, and then I got it, but I had that was kind of like my first time moved out. I was with the boys. Kind of sick, like about to turn 21, and I was like, this is maybe not the best place to be, because you turn 21, you're gonna party, you're gonna be like a dipshit.
Life can change
and
quick.
I was like, going to Mount Hood is the answer, at least and if it's not, it's gonna be a cool experience, and that was the biggest, the smartest decision of my life.
Got you out of your hometown.
You can get stuck in your hometown.
Yeah, and I was
real.
super content because I had good friends.
Yeah, you might have never left there, really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
I'm a late bloomer in
I was gonna say
in a lot
I was
of ways.
Out the door 17. You waited till you're 20.
Well, and that only meant I went to Hood. I still lived in Mass, filmed for Think Tank for the next 5 years.
Yeah,
from Mass.
Yeah.
And then also running back, there was one bit of information that you told me recently that I never knew till I've known you for 18 years and you never told me, but something about your dad with essentially you had some money that was set aside.
Well, it was spent as quick as it came in, but when my mom passed, there was insurance money that's what he lived off of.
She
for
had
10
insurance
years.
policy.
Yeah. I don't know much about all that, and then her Social Security was supposed to go into a fund for me to go to college or just set me up for life. And my dad was just spending that money every month for, 13 years.
You didn't even know it. You never saw the check.
I didn't know it until the end. I was like, whoa, my name's on this check. I would get the mail and he's not even paying the bills anyway,
Andy wasn't even paying the bills on top of it.
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
I mean, when he lost the house, it was, that was a huge game changer in my vision. I was like, whoa, I gotta learn how to take care of myself.
Yes, exactly.
And I mean, we skipped over.
How old were you when you lost the house?
13.
13.
Yep. And that's when you start to care.
Yeah.
At 13 is when you're you kind of want to look away and you want people to think you're on track.
Yeah, you're doing
normal or
yeah.
Whatever. And I ended up getting a job working tobacco. And I made it 2 days at I may have been 12 or 13. I don't know.
Working at a tobacco company?
Tobacco farms are big in Western Mass.
And you could smoke back then at 12 or what?
I mean, you could.
but actually.
No, we were just picking the leaves.
Yeah.
And you put them in these little pallet type box things. And I did that 2 days. That was my first job ever. And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And
the whole time though, you had checks actually come to the house.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
You weren't supposed to see them though.
No, I don't think I was supposed to know. And maybe.
Did your dad ever get you to sign anything all sneakily or?
No.
He just signed it.
I think
probably.
he just I remember the bank was Warnoco Bank. He was just freaking cashing them.
Yeah, I've been through similar instances, and I got to say that sucks when you find that out. That had to.
Yeah.
It didn't. Were you bummed?
I was bummed at that 17, 18 mark because I wanted a nice car. I wanted things. Yeah.
It was supposed to go to college though. Would you have spent it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I probably would have, but I didn't give a shit about school.
No.
Like I cared more about going to the library, and I would get that New Transworld, and I would read that. But like school, I just
Transworld or Snowboarder?
I was,
Sorry,
honestly, like back then, I was more.
I'm just joking.
I was more of a Transworld guy.
Oh, a lot of, but it's because Buds' lens is so
Harsh
fucking
go.
dirty. Yeah,
But I didn't know,
Yeah.
you know, like. But in like
Seasoned. My lenses are seasoned.
BMX Plus, that was like another mag that I like. I would read those articles, but school, I was just like a C. I was a C guy.
Yeah.
I just was totally cool.
But a BMX article comes out, you're on it.
Nobody cared about what my grades were. Nobody, you know, like I didn't have. Nobody looked.
Oh, really? There was no one like harshing you to get. You need straight A's.
No,
Yeah, it's
no,
just like
I-
I'm just happy you're going to school. Sweet.
I don't
whatever.
even think he knew.
Yeah.
You know, like
He's
I just knew that that's what I was supposed to be doing at that time.
and that's what I think. As your friend, he's been so independent since he was 13 years old. You know, and
Yeah.
so had to learn how to do everything on your own from a young age because it was just you, right?
Yeah,
and then jumping ahead for you going to Hood and kind of like going out on a whim. You don't have any backup plan or anything. That's like a big deal to leave Western Mass for somebody in your circumstances.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was definitely. I remember I'm like, this is the only direction, or I'm gonna be stuck here. And like,
Probably
like a
forever.
lot of my friends that I grew up with, like they're plumbers. They work gas,
Living in the same
gas
town.
company, like, and they're killing it, you know, like, but that's not my thing.
Yeah.
That's what happens if you stay there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would never would have felt like fulfilled. You know, I would have just been like doing something that was like for somebody else. You know, like, oh, this is how I get my money to buy my food and
Yeah.
pay my mortgage or something, you know.
Yep. And then you go to Hood and you end up getting sponsors. You meet some people getting Think Tank,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're a coach.
Well, yeah.
High Cascade Snowboard.
I mean,
camp.
I was a camper that first year for sure. I was just like taking it all in. I was like,
a coach camper.
I was like, I got 7 kids that want to learn shit, but I want to learn more than them. You know? like
You were technically a coach, but in your mind you're a camper. Is
Oh
that
yeah,
what-
the first year I was like 100% like a little bit about me.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like I wanted to
Whatever
learn
it
how to
takes.
ride a half pipe. I
Yeah.
was super interested in riding half pipe.
And you did that. You figured that out pretty well.
I'd say like 90% of the kids I coached through the 5 years at Hood learned backflips. They could.
That's a good percentage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They could,
that's a great
or
ROI.
Maybe not learned, but they got upside down.
They got
I guess.
upside down.
Yeah,
It's easy
no,
to get upside down. That's the easy part.
No, but I just
Hard part's landing.
I knew they would always remember me if I
Yeah, that's
taught
it.
them.
If you taught them a
Yeah,
trick
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Because I knew, like, as me as a kid, if somebody taught me a backflip, I would be like, they're like my hero. you
You're
know?
kind of remember that your whole life.
There's like your first time riding a bike, and then there's like your first backflip,
Yeah.
and like your first kickflip.
Oh,
and that's like it.
When I learned my first, or flipped my first backflip, because my first like 4 attempts, I was such a dipshit. I tried them on ice. Like literally, it's like March 30th, the Blandford actually, where I grew up riding. They were closing, and I'm like, didn't get one in this year. I gotta give it a go. And I'm just like, go fast, lean back, and just get stuck upside down.
and stuck.
Dude, I landed on my head like 3. I don't even know how, like, I was fine every time. I think I would go so big that I would land where the snow was soft from everybody, like, butt checking. And,
Oh,
like,
nice.
like-
It was all softened
Yeah,
up for you.
yeah.
Did you go to Hood as a camper too ever, or just
No,
right
no.
to coaching?
Yeah, just coaching.
Expedited.
And then as a coach, it seemed like from my perspective, you were coaching. You got in with Scotty Stevens. Obviously, you're friends with him. You're friends with Jesse Burtner. Naturally, you started filming for Think Tank, and you got on K2, and that whole you kind of got on the Think Tank program for a while, right?
Yeah, that was like, I learned like watching Burtner's lifestyle was like, you're like, whoa, you can make a living doing what you like. And that was the first person I had ever seen do that.
That's sick. So you saw he was doing that, and you were like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah, like that was a big like kind of a like moment in life where I'm like, this is cool.
People can make a living.
he's
Yeah.
like out here.
Would you say he's a mentor? in some
Yeah,
ways?
yeah,
Like a
like
life mentor?
without even knowing it, you know, like now to look back at for sure.
You were just watching him move, right?
Him and
Just-
Pika, like they were doing it the way they wanted to be, you know.
It's they took a shot on you too. They're like, we're gonna put Scott
Yeah,
in this thing.
I think
you know?
Burtner knew that like we were gonna like mesh, you know, like he knew the tricks that he's trying and what I want to do. They're in the same same zone, you know.
So you guys could ride
And
together.
Beresford's got a good method, so he's kind of that's like you're already.
Well, it's my method's better than Brushy's.
That is a Beresford quote.
No, it's
what is that quote?
I think I was 21 at SIA, like
I've heard this story. I've heard
Bridges or something?
Yeah, hammered drunk, and I was like, my fucking method's better than and like
You went up to Brush.
He told Pat Bridges his
you told
method
Brush?
was better than Brush's.
The funny thing is,
At 21.
is like, what was I basing off of? Why did I say that?
Dude, Brushy was double jointed. That fool could tweak.
Oh, dude, I trust me, I'm like so down. You know,
First time I saw Brushy at a lodge, I saw him like bend down and touch like his elbows to the ground, and I was just like, dude, something's messed up with this guy's.
No, and like that's
Turns
like
out he's like every joint double jointed.
crazy.
That's why he
he's
could
good
tweak
at
like that.
Shout out to
Poker.
Jeff Brushy.
Props to Jeff Brushy. Vermont in the house.
So, and then at that point, you're on K2 snowboards, right?
Yeah,
Did Bridges call you out?
on that.
Yeah.
I think it's just a lasting
thing.
joke.
Ongoing
it's
He
joke.
probably
yeah,
just
yeah.
memorized it and was
Oh,
like,
well,
this
it's
is great.
probably how I got on the map with
True.
Bridges. You know?
Bridges
like,
was probably like, this guy's.
I got to see this guy's method.
I
He's
gotta
a real
see this
asshole.
guy's
like,
method.
I mean, now I second guess my method now. I'm like, why did I say
Dude,
that?
methods.
You cranked out a bunch of really sick think tank parts, and then at some point in that, there was a pro sale, and that is kind of where Dang Shades was born.
Yeah.
right?
Well, that was I knew there was opportunity. You know, like being there the first year, and I sold everything I like went to Hood with. I was like, sunny out, don't eat this jacket.
For the listeners,
like-
there's a pro sale. I think it's like every Wednesday or something.
Yeah, it's like every session.
mid session.
Yeah.
and you can sell your like if you have extra product, and that's how a lot of the coaches make their living is selling this product, right? So
in the first year, I was like, if I had more stuff, I could have sold it. And then that's when Dang was like, which I like made up this thing called Dang Loose, which it was a sticker, and it was like, instead of Hawaii, we're stuck in Massachusetts, like we're Dang Loose instead of Hang Loose, because
Yeah.
it's like quite the opposite.
That's how you came to the name Dang.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I always
I just had a sticker in my room that my aunt, their honeymoon was in 1992, I
Hang
believe.
loose.
It was a Hang Loose sticker.
Yeah.
And I always I was like, that's cool looking. You know, like
Yeah.
it was like nothing more than that.
yeah.
And that's where Dang came from.
And then
That's crazy.
Then how
Yeah.
did you get about selling the sunglasses?
Yeah, how'd you get to sunglasses
me
out
and
of all
my-
the products?
That's shit luck. You know?
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say
Just random.
because to me
Yeah.
it looks like a very calculated move.
No,
but it wasn't.
No, I just was
They just
super-
happen to have the best margin.
I was into
sellable 4 seasons out of the year.
no, it wasn't even any of that.
You
it
lucky
was,
bastard.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Dumb luck.
Yeah.
I was into the Wayfair style in like Oakley.
Which is a dope style.
Oakley
Yeah.
was making a push.
The frog
with-
skin?
Yeah, and I was getting flow from them at the time. And I ran those hard in stack footy. And I just started doing some research. And I Googled, and like I found some blanks, and I bought a die cut machine with my friend Rob Bro. And I just
His
made
last
the-
name's Bro.
Breau.
Yeah.
But I
Fancy Bro.
and then I made these stickers that I just stuck them on like one lens.
Yeah.
Like
Just to paint a picture of how meticulous it was, you would take a tiny little die cut, take a razor blade, take a Dang logo that's like
It
a
was
half a
tiny.
centimeter,
Yeah.
and slap it on every single sunglass
Yeah.
individually, and then
These
sell
were
those
like
at
the
Hood.
first Dang shades.
This is the early Dang days.
You basically you weren't getting them in China. or
no,
anything.
no,
You're
no,
just
no.
straight
Yeah.
hand
So how
making
many?
them with
You got like
stickers.
a big lots order or something, right?
I was going around.
You
Like,
got a Big Lots order with the handmade.
No, I was.
stickers?
I was.
he would just buy them.
I
Oh.
would go like just everything was Dang at that time.
Yeah, you
Like
would
if
just
I
throw
found
Dang
if
on
I
anything.
found a cool looking glass, this is Dang. It might only be one of them though.
Yeah.
You know, like and then like I just would go around and buy go to antique stores
Yeah.
and like
put
you
luggies on shit.
just ran like Ocean State Job Lot. I remember I had a big
Job lots.
big find. I found like 48 pair, and I was like,
For a great price.
yeah, for like a buck a piece
Yeah.
or $2 or something, you know.
So that first summer, you were able to make pretty good margins and put some money in your pocket.
Yeah,
right?
it was funny because I'm so different now. Because at that point I would be like $20.
Even though it's just a sticker, the kids would be all hyped.
Well,
and
it
buy
was
it
the
like it's a
style.
product.
They were buying
There wasn't price point sunglasses at this point, mind you. It was like an open market.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was also there was a style. that like
they just wanted that style. You had it,
which is what was like popular is almost what I'm making now. You know, like at that point, like more wraparound shit. And I knew there was, I kind of thought like this would be like a good way to make a few extra bucks.
Wow.
You know, like gas money.
So it starts selling.
Let's talk cheddar biscuits. Let's talk. What did you make that first summer?
Yeah, let's go first summer.
I probably walked with like $6-8 grand.
So, but that was
From
where you got a
shit.
taste. That's where you got a taste of like I can put die cuts on sunglasses and make money.
And then the
right?
next summer, so this would be third year at Hood.
Cheddar biscuits.
Cheddar biscuits.
This is funny because I had a.
That's a lot of money for putting stickers on shit.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
year 2 stickers as well.
This would be year 3, but I had a plan. I found a place I could get them online, and I was buying dead stock.
Overseas or
no?
in the States?
It was in the U.S., but I was buying shit that's just been sitting in
a
warehouse for like.
Yeah.
Who
so you're
knows?
still not going to get your logo on it, but you're going to get great prices.
Yeah, and that's when I went into Hood with like a game plan, and I coined. I cashed in, you know, like
what are we talking?
Let's talk about the bisque, the cheddar bisque.
Let's talk cheddar bisque.
3 months, I walked with like 12K.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. But it was
Son, where'd you find this?
funny part of
That's incredible.
Funny part of this is I was making all this cash, and I would like hide it in I had like a big ass duffel bag, and I was like, this is sketchy. I can't do this.
Looking like a drug dealer.
And then
Were you going to secure the bag or what?
Then I started going to the post office that's in Govey, and I was getting money orders to me. So I went home with I think with what I made.
Oh, you would get your own money orders.
Yeah.
Just so you didn't have all this. You didn't know what to do with all this cash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's some drug dealer shit.
Yeah. I didn't. So that just
dude,
seems
12K
right.
in 3 months is insane.
The thing
might
that's cool,
change my line of work.
You should start a sunglass company. Yeah.
I got to find my own private Idaho. You know what I mean? My own thing.
What I was going to say, though, too, is you were also the first to direct-to-consumer sunglass sales, right? Around that time because of MySpace?
Yeah.
What year?
MySpace, we're talking. MySpace.
This would be like 07.
Who's in your top 8 at that point?
Stevens for sure. Who knows?
I feel like I was on the cusp. I was on the edge.
Yeah, you might have been like at the 7 or like. No, I don't know. I'm sure it's still available. Out there.
we should look up and see who's in the top 8.
I remember his Scott's was like his top 8 was like somebody and then like a porn star.
He's just being honest.
Yeah.
Respect.
So
respect the top 8.
Yeah. When did you finally be like, all right, I need to figure out how to make my own dang shades?
That
like
was
some real.
Like 2009 or 10.
So you did this for a couple of years. You kept buying those.
Well, I was too scared.
I mean, you're making more than most people like doing whatever. I mean, in your snowboarding.
Well, I mean, at that, like going into Mount Hood, I maybe had like $2,000 to my name.
Yeah, but this was like how you were going to survive.
And
most other kids though, they go there with $200 in their name and they leave with $200 in their name,
or they leave with zero.
Yeah. You're leaving. No, I saw duffel bag full of
Corey duffel bag boy.
I for sure saw
worth of money notes.
Opportunity. Yeah, you know, like because I saw, like even Scott, like he would want to go tramp skate, and I'm like, dude, I got to put these stickers on these lenses. Like
you're focused.
It's like tonight is pro sale. I gotta this is what I need to focus on, and it would take me like an hour.
Yeah,
but he was like, dude,
he would this fool would have a wad of cash at pro sale. I was working at High Cascade with him. He was like Scrooge McDuck after I'm telling you, dude, just printing money.
Nobody saw this and were like, damn, let me help you.
No, people. There was another crew at Hood that's tried to do what I did.
You had some competition.
Yeah, they were called Animal Farm. And they
made sunglasses.
And they were doing the exact same thing.
It was kind of like
you're fired.
That was the situation.
No, but I
dude,
saw.
It goes to show first to the market, man. That's what's up.
But I literally was like kind of like pissed a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
but I was like, now I love competition.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's healthy.
You know, like I like when people succeed too. Like
true, right?
I don't need it all. You know, like
so then like let's get into that online sales first to online market.
Yeah, that's so. MySpace was a thing at this point, and I put I don't even know how I figured this out, but a PayPal just buy now link on my MySpace page.
And these were the ones with stickers still, but you're getting them
in
bulk.
And I took a photo. I had like a freaking elf at the time or something, and I just put A, B, or C, and you could just buy now for $20, and you just like left a comment or a little note saying A, B, or C. And that was the 3 colors.
The 3 options.
And you had your clientele from Hood, so they started continually buying year-round, right?
Yeah. And like, I mean, there was, I think it was like 23 years old is when I hurt my knee riding that year up in Alaska. And then that was the first summer I was like, holy shit, I just made $1,000 off a dang. Yeah. And I was like getting paid a little bit to snowboard.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was planning on going to Hood that summer to like survive, you know, like that's where I was going to make some money. And that was like, I was like, whoa, this is real.
It's real. Were these web sales he's talking about? Did they start extending your money year round? Like you were getting 12 at Hood, but now you're getting 12 in 3 months from home.
Well, yeah. And it was, I don't think it was that much.
Yeah, but
as soon as I made that $1,000 a month in web sales, this is probably after I made built the first really, really shitty website. I've never it's only grown.
You never looked back. You just grow from there.
Yeah.
So what made you start to finally be like, all right, I'm gonna get my own logo. I'm gonna get these made for real.
I think that was
we're gonna move from stickers
an ex-girlfriend's family. Their mom was like, "What are you doing with your life?" And I was like,
"Putting stickers on."
I don't know. Like I didn't know, but that I was like, I'm gonna that was like maybe the first moment of risk in my where I was like, all right, here we go. And I had a credit card. I literally emailed my credit card number to this factory
in Japan or China.
It was.
You must have went on Alibaba.com or something.
No, it was before Alibaba.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
this is actually 1908.
Oh, 1908.
No, this was 1912. But no, but I didn't even know. Maybe Alibaba was a thing.
Yeah, it's been around a while.
I Googled this shit.
You just Googled sunglass factory in China.
I found the style.
Let me give you my credit card number.
Yeah. No, and I knew that I could only be out $3,000.
Oh, true.
That was my
ripped. You're only getting so ripped.
Yeah. And
that's the first entrepreneurial big gamble. That's
yeah. That was
here we go. Fuck it.
And that was a lot of money to me at that point. You know,
yeah. And that's dope. So, but they actually delivered.
Yeah, it showed up, and I remember I was like that was my Christmas at 6 years old when for those first things. I had never I don't think I had ever been so excited because I was I just came up with these fucking ideas. I don't know what they're gonna look like.
And your margin's insane because you're going to China.
And
now.
I didn't know how you price things at that point.
Oh, you didn't even. So were you asking people these questions?
No,
or you were
just
I
didn't.
Making your own rules.
I was like, these are worth $20, and I was paying under $2 to make them. You know? And I'm.
And in your head, you're like $20, perfect.
Yeah. Well, to me, I always my sales. How I do things is what would I want as a kid? Yeah, that's what. So
you're not what is this company selling it for? What is this?
Dragon selling sunglasses for $80. Yeah, and then you see the dang sitting next to it. You're like, I'm going with the dang.
Yeah, and I just have always sold everything I do is what would I want as a kid? Yeah. And what could I afford as a kid?
And the trip is you can hold these $80 next to these $20 and they look the same. So it's just well, I'll take 4 of these. Yeah. Please, thank you.
And then so your online sales kept growing and growing. And then at some point, I remember one of the, you got this Japan distributor and that's when Dang kind of exploded, right?
Well, Japan was, went from they're we think we can move 700 pair. And I was like,
they must love the name Dang too. That's feels like it's just made for Japan.
That's kind of a part of the shit luck program.
Yeah,
you know,
this is great.
Yeah, I didn't know, and they forecasted moving 700 the first year, and I think sold out in 2 months.
Wow.
And then I was like,
so then they got to come back and order,
dude, and it just snowballed.
There was some statistic or something along the lines of you being the second biggest sunglass company in Japan.
Yeah.
In a big box store
I heard that.
or something like that.
I heard that out in the streets.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I know
I heard people that work for your distributor were saying those things.
Yeah. No,
and it might have been maybe this 1 month
Right.
Or you're even the first
I feel
one
like,
month. Like you
Sabre was one, which is like random.
And then like you beat Oakley 1 month and
right,
people were tripping on that. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I just, those
from
are
distributors.
When I hear good things, I'm like,
you just put your head down.
Don't even like
keep working.
I've never like pretty much anything good. I'm like, all right, well, you got to like focus on what you're doing because you can't live on like this moment,
well,
you know?
Yeah,
and
true.
I always thought that's, when you with your entrepreneurial spirit coming from basically nothing and having no financial security, and knowing what it takes to earn a buck, working at Fat Tracks, working like for everything you've had, when you finally got that money, you never were like, you were smart with it, as opposed to most people who are buying dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like myself.
Truth.
I think I also started to make money later.
Yeah.
I didn't get that early, like from...
You're still pretty young here, though.
But 13 to 25, I was just staying alive. Like,
yeah.
And then, like, at age 25 is, like, when, like, I was like, holy shit. Like,
I'm stacking.
I can go buy a brand new car right now.
I could build an igloo at $1.
Let's talk about Cheddar Bisque at this point.
Yeah, now we're talking. You got your shit out. It's moving. It's got a real logo on it. You're selling in Japan.
Yeah. So
how's the bisque looking?
What kind of bisque?
Well, age 26 is when I moved here to Salt Lake, and my I banked with Bank of America at the time, and my grandma accidentally opened up my like whatever the paperwork you get every month from your bank, and it had like 130K.
She thought it was hers.
Yeah,
yeah. 130K. Come on.
And like to me,
okay,
25.
Here we go.
But woo! To me, I'm saving up for a house. That's like, and I don't want to buy a house.
You haven't moved out of your home yet, but you're looking to buy a house.
No, I was renting at the Club Boya.
Oh yeah, nice.
Shouts to Club Boya.
$180 a month, man. It was
that place.
$80 a month,
and I was totally down. Like I had
You're
to walk.
paying $180 a month, but you had an account with over 100 Cheddar Bisque.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Also, around this time, he's not just an entrepreneur. He's balancing like a full pro snowboard career, filming video
pro
parts,
for K2.
getting checks from sponsors.
I was never pro.
Not pro, but you were getting paid.
I was.
How much
Cheddar Biscuit? Let's talk Cheddar Biscuits on the snowboard.
Oh, at my max, I made $2,000 a month.
30,
32
from everything put
32
together.
and K2.
Yeah,
and that's how I built Dang though, because that was enough for me to survive, paying $180 for rent.
Damn.
Yep.
And like my cost of living was so low at that point in my life. It was like
$180 a month. Pretty good.
Maybe it was 185. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. No shit. I mean, but I also like do not want to go back there.
Yeah, true.
And then the thing I remember kind of pretty vividly is at a certain point in time, your career, like you lost your sponsors, and at that same time, fucking Oakley sued you, right? There was some bullshit like that.
Oh God, that was I had just.
What did Oakley sue you for?
I had made a style that looked like a razor blade.
I mean, doesn't everyone steal that Wayfarer that someone else started?
It's not even that frame, because that one they don't have a patent on.
Yeah,
it was like the
one
Macho Man Randy Savage shades.
I don't want to call out Pit Viper, but it's like they should be sued too.
It's like a Pit Viper type.
It's like and I'm stoked for Pit Viper.
Oakley basically looked at you and they're like, "This guy's actually moving some units."
They didn't. I only sold like 76 pair,
and they still came
because they just came out. Like They didn't even give me a chance to sell them.
They were just kind of scared of the hype of your brand, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's like that. You want to just talk about just like how whack a company is. Like you look at Oakley, they have military contacts. They pay people the most money out of anything, and here they are suing Chris Beresford, paying $180 a month, living in a trap house, basically.
When I bought my house, though.
Oh,
it was like
okay.
So that's why the stress was like triple. You know, like I had just like made like my first big purchase in life.
Did you just buy your house cash?
No. I put down like $70K because I wanted
Cheddar Bisque,
just in case. If shit hits a fan, like Oakley,
which it does. It will.
Oakley,
at some point it will, or it might.
But Oakley suing me was I can work at Home Depot and I can still cover my mortgage. And like I knew I could live off of $12 an hour.
Yeah.
And that's like I always set myself up in life on this $12 an hour scenario.
Model.
Yeah. And I don't know,
tight,
which
dude.
is smart.
I don't know why, but I've done that.
Just
Also,
worst case
circling-
scenario, you're gonna make $12
Yeah,
an
yeah,
hour.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
all right.
Circling back around, those guys sue you, and they look like assholes, and then everybody started fucking with you.
Well,
it almost
then-
seemed like your business went up, right?
Yeah, and then Transworld put up the post saying that
Oakley
I got
sues
sued,
Dang
and I
Shakes.
was like, in a roundabout way, it brought a lot of attention to Dang, and like
People want to support.
and like I was,
the underdog.
like I think I'd like made like $5,000 in sales that month that it happened, and I was like, why am I like I want to go
How much?
golfing.
How much? Let's talk cheddar biscuits. What was the suing for? How much money?
Or they do a cease and desist.
I think it was 12.5.
Okay,
you had
12
to
grand.
And they
give
want-
them money.
Yeah, 12
Yeah.
grand.
Yeah, or something like that.
And then also,
Jesus, dude, that's petty. Of
Pete,
them.
Pete Sar, 12 grand from like the biggest eyewear company.
Yeah, I mean they
Hey,
like.
can we just give a little Oakley?
You're fired.
I honestly am not mad at him though. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's how you learn in life.
And then we cut to our sponsor, Oakley. Thank you.
But also, I remember you told me Pete Sari gave you some cool advice at one point.
Well, he just said, "Be careful. You might be a millionaire, kid." And I was like,
Was this at a trade show?
This is the owner
or-
of LibTech.
or You didn't even go to trade shows. You sell them direct, right?
"Well, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried the trade show thing, and it's just like we might as well just fucking throw the money in the toilet and flush it."
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
like it's like you're not. I'm shaking hands with the dudes that are already buying the shit.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
it.
like,
Yeah, you already got it.
yeah,
dialed.
like, and I'm so down with keeping it in like 12, 15 shops in the U.S. And I know the dude. I can text him. Like
Keep
I don't.
it
I'm not
legit.
trying to like.
You mostly
run,
go direct, anyways.
Yeah, I don't really like want to run a business of like I'm dealing with these salespeople and
Yeah, he
I-
said, "Be careful, though. You might be a millionaire."
Oh yeah,
Around that time, you tried to. You're like, I'm gonna buy my grandmother a car, right?
yeah, and I mean she's a
She's a sweetheart.
2000,
gram.
2001 Honda Civic that has like 60,000 miles on it right now, and yeah, I ended up buying her hearing aids. I didn't.
But
get
she
it.
didn't accept it, right?
She
You're
didn't.
like, I'm buying
well,
you a
she
new car.
realized I like the sense in me. I'm like, you don't need a new car. Like maybe like a timing belt once you hit 90,000 miles. But
Yeah.
your car, you drive to the grocery store, to the hair salon.
Yeah.
And they're all like a mile and a half away.
Yeah.
You're like, it's just like I don't know. I'm weird.
But then she ended up wanting hearing aids instead, right?
Yeah, well, that actually would help her life. You know,
Make
like
her life
Yeah,
better.
like the car goes in reverse and still goes forward. You know, it's like,
And so you basically started Dang Shades with like zero money, huh?
yeah.
Incredible. That's American dream right there, boss.
I know. I think about that a lot. Where I'm like, because once you like, whatever success means, I've reached that. You know, like that point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is the new goal? You know, like, because I don't really want more. Like, I just want to like keep her going, but I'm not like, I don't think more like money, bigger house is
Yeah.
the answer.
I find it so admirable in the fact that most people they're always told keep growing, get bigger,
Yeah.
get a bigger office, get more distributors, get more employees, grow. Where you seem like you hit a point and you're like, I have the right balance of I wake up in the morning, I ship a bunch of sunglasses, and then in the afternoon I get to go snowboard, and I'm all set. I don't need to be any bigger. I'm not greedy.
I
right?
just realized like the more, because like in 2013 I had like a really big year. I think it was like right around when I bought my house. I'll be honest, I like did like over 300K in sales that year.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, and I mean this is like $20.
Where'd you find this?
A lot of times $20 at a time. Like
Yeah. It's a
like,
lot of sunglasses.
It's a lot of like.
And you know, some brands might be like, you know, we do X amount and we would do 500, we do 700, but you have no overhead. You have you don't have a staff of employees. And
I did.
some of these brands, they're not making money until they clear like 3 million. 'cause
Right,
They got
yeah.
so much in marketing, so much in.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's like
Your
watch-
model's insane. You can just live a sick life, take care of yourself.
Or it's not even a sick life. It's
I just
exactly
mean, just be
what
happy.
It's
but,
what I want.
What your version
you
of
know?
a sick
Yeah,
life
yeah,
is.
yeah.
You know, like you
Like-
can just do that.
Like I want to pay $12 and walk 9 holes. Golfing.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
so
I
sick.
like. You know, like
And you'd have no partners.
no. I that's
Keep it that way, man. That's so dope.
Mike Yoshida and Bodie both offered me $10K back in the early years.
And now their 10K would have been worth who knows what.
Yeah.
So
but
I
just know, like, I have enough stress of, like, and it's all stress that I put on myself.
Yeah.
And I found I don't need anybody else's, like,
stress.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
to manage their stress and their bullshit.
And I knew, like...
And are you growing every year?
No.
Kind of leveled out.
Yeah, I've definitely, like, had that, like, the roller coaster. But
you got people that are just believe in the product and they keep ordering as they need them.
Like I'll tell you this. Sorry to interrupt, but my brother, for example, okay, Phil Grenier, he is like a dang shades fanatic. Every time my brother orders some sunglasses, Beresford throws in a couple extra pairs, right?
Really?
And so my brother's, he's talking to me, and mind you, Beresford ships everything out of his house. There's not like a big dang warehouse. And he's like, "Oh, you should see me over there at Dang Shades. I'm VIP, bro. I'm VIP." and that's
you should see me over
and
there.
I'm like, "No, you're a fucking idiot."
Yeah. You see his name.
Well, we have, like, me and Mike Lee, like, who, like, we know names, you know, like
you know people who's
like
a repeat
Flood,
customer.
Shane Flood is like
he's a repeat customer,
super supporter.
That's sick.
And it's like when Flood orders, you're like juicing them, you know, like and like it's cool.
That's
like the
so
amount
cool,
of people like in the industry that have ran it, like Blue Montgomery, George Kleckner,
straight up have ordered shades.
Preston.
Yeah.
Like people have ordered, and I'm just like, this is fucking rad.
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
it's
They're
like
supporting you.
It's fun, like to like. I'm like, it's just a thank
so
you.
cool.
I appreciate it. You know,
and also your fan base or your customer base isn't just snowboarders. Like people like my brother, people from Massachusetts are like, dude, I know Dang Shades. They're sick. Like there's like diehard Dang Shades, like regular folk out there.
Yeah,
too.
That's what makes it such a great business. Is you're not stuck in the snow world. You can really just year round. And
I found something. You don't want to be too cool.
Yeah,
you want to sell.
You pigeonhole yourself.
To everybody.
Yeah.
And if you like are just this black company, black on black, and like this super cool, everybody wants it for free because it's the cool people know about it.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
like in like
I agree with that 100%.
Like I've built a brand on like normal people.
That's
and
what
like,
you want.
And that's like
normal people are the ones buying stuff every day.
They don't know that you can get a free T-shirt. You know, like they've paid for all their T-shirts. You know, and we've lived in a world of like, oh, yo, I'm gonna.
I haven't bought something in 20 years.
Yeah, like shoes or you know.
And you also do a lot of really cool stuff where you put a little custom note or a little custom stuff in some of your boxes, right?
That's the way to do it.
Like 3 years ago, I like woke up one day and I was like, how do I not be like Amazon? Yeah, like I need to make this a little more personal and I just started like, and it's like.
Especially since you're doing it at yourself. I mean,
sometimes I write the same shit over and over, but I truly do appreciate it.
Just a little hand note.
It's just like, thanks, Mike. I appreciate the support. You know, like stay safe or, you know, like, or like whatever, you know, like, and it's just like, that's what I would like if I ordered something online and I just get
note goes a long way.
I just get a packing slip in there and the product I ordered, you know, and I like,
and then it seems like, to me, when you met your significant other, Melissa, that was a big deal in your life too, right?
Yeah. Melissa, like, was my defining moment in snowboarding. Because I was, like, cut, like, K2, like, I wasn't cut from K2. They just stopped paying me. And, like, a year went by, and I was like, I don't need this shit. Like, and they wanted to, like, cut it in half of what I was making. And it wouldn't have, at that point, I wouldn't have, like, been into it. Like, because I was like, I don't want to make $5,000 a year. This is what I spent my entire life doing.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, why the hell did I do that?
Yeah,
I should have, like,
right?
that would have paid for my fuel and, like, for everything for the winter months of, like, the active boarding.
Yeah, true.
And 32 had cut me, and I get that, like, budgets and bullshit. You know, like, I get it. And I just... meeting Melissa really changed like my outlook. I was like, I do enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I like first time riding with her, like just met her and we're up at in Grizzly Gulch. And I like kind of was just fired up. You know, I was like
he was flexing.
I don't know if I like
flexing
if I had something to prove, but I was like this shitty ass hip.
This is the first time you actually met her?
We had met, but like we were like hanging, you know, like riding. Yeah, absolutely. I had a big
he did. I remember that time.
You were like, all right, I'm gonna fucking, I'm gonna.
No,
do
and
this.
I was just like tossing
show
out
up right
these
now.
McTwists on like this pretty flat takeoff, and I was just like dying, like I would like land on my feet, but like it was like spring and just like the Tommy snow where you're just like, if you don't land in this,
But
like
she caught her eye, huh?
I don't know
She,
if that
don't know
she
if
was
that
feeling
was-
the Mickey.
That wasn't the definitive moment
I have
for her.
a feeling that wasn't the answer,
I'm
but
interested to hear what her definitive moment was.
Should have just done a method. You would have been all set.
Yeah.
I for sure did a method
Okay, good.
just getting her going, but not her, but myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll have to get Melissa on here and get the backstory.
Yeah, I want to hear her side of this, dude.
She's like, he's a fucking prick.
I saw this asshole trying McTwist
He
floundering
kept
around.
Tommy hawking all day.
Well, I was also riding that board, and that thing is like the softest. Like it's such a not a good snowboard.
Limp noodle.
Yeah, it's
Little limp biscuit over there for you.
I feel like you hit like the snowboarder's American dream, because it seems like it almost like your riding got like when you lost your sponsors. From my perspective, your riding got better, because back then you were like, I'm a sponsored snowboarder. I need to hit the big cheese wedge. I need to hit the rail. I need to do the front board on the kink. And now you're like, I own Dang. I can do whatever the hell I want, and this is what I want to do. And your riding changed, and it almost seemed like it was like this second coming of Bear Claw.
I 100%.
Bear Claw's second coming.
I agree, because
Spelled Cumming.
I just kind of like dumbed it down by snowboarding, instead of like, because there was years of like I wanted to make $500 more a month from 32 and K2, and I was like, I need to hit this kink rail with a closeout at the bottom because I thought that was the answer.
Yeah.
And that's not the answer.
Yeah, it's funny. Stepping back, everyone thinks that's the answer, but the real answer is just finding your line, your groove.
Yeah. Oh,
what
and
makes you you. And
that's like
in my head, it's your sick grabbing, your dope style, and
well, you should have told me 10 years
we didn't
ago.
have this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
That's when you should have noticed. I started always being like, "Let's get some shit."
Yeah.
It takes a minute to figure out what your strong suits are, and
When
then
you throw those
once
baggy jeans on, dude, start floating around holy boly. That's what's up.
He had the best quote about these. I was going snowboarding with them this spring, and what did you say when you were wearing them?
You can be simple. You put on the jeans, and you were like, you just like do a little like slash or like a little like shifty or back 180, and you're like, that's why I started doing this.
Exactly.
I didn't start.
That's what
doing,
drew you into shit too, right?
Like I was interested in the simple, like Jamie Lynn's method, like the one, like he's on the hip, and that's why I.
And it's so easy to forget that on this journey everyone's on.
People think they got to learn the back 10 double, but it's like it's the simple pleasures, like the good melon poke will take you further in a lot of instances,
sure.
you know.
But like that's not how we work as humans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, all right, I did the back 7, I need that back 10, I need the back 12, I need the,
that's how every kid coming up thinks, but in truth, some of them just need to step back and.
Oh, I just do front threes, and I'm having a blast, Like,
and those are the things for me. There's photo better than any bigger spin, and you get the style in there, it's on. Good night.
Meanwhile, we're over here jumping on the closeouts as Stony Bud's like just getting bodied, and he's just like looking at his camera like you're like picking your teeth out of the landing. He's like, "You got this, bud." You're like, I need to go to the hospital right now.
Yeah. I like filming for Greenburg also is like a huge step in
Suzy Greenburg.
Yeah, and just like I'm back, but I have no like business really doing this, but I want it more than ever.
That's dope.
For no reason.
Passion project style.
Yeah. Like I like my brain is just running. I have all these trick ideas. I've been like taking notes this whole time when I wasn't like,
doing parts.
I wasn't even filming. I was just like doing some bullshit on Instagram, and if it took more than one try, like I was like, fuck it. We don't need to do this. Like,
I'm going to quote Johan, but he's, word for word what he said. These aren't my words, but he's like, what are you doing? They should have put the privateer, Chris Beresford, at the end. And I love how they referred a privateer, for those who don't know, is a motocross racer who doesn't have like big sponsors. And it's like, that's Beresford. He's his own sponsor, but he's not passion project.
But it's when you get paid from another company, it gives you reason.
Yeah.
Like me running Dang doesn't like give me, I'm not like, I need to be out there. I need to do this. Like if I was getting like a 12-pack of White Claws every month.
That
I'd be
could be
like,
the
I
push.
need to get some content, you know, like
White Claw, hit 'em up.
no, like, but
Hit 'em
it's
up,
like
White Claw.
it's as small as that, you know, like.
Just that motivation.
But Greenburg, like growing up with Scott and like seeing like how hard he's worked, and I wanted to do a good job too. That's all.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
sick.
it was super important to me. Like I wanted to. I didn't want to just have like the shot because you're a friend. I wanted to have like a shot that because it was good. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Not to get too deep here, but I feel like with your growing up, with your home life and your family life, like you've always been super close with your close friends. Like and it's like that's super important, obviously, to you because
Yeah.
your family's not the same as everybody
no,
else's.
like I've never had family visit.
Yeah.
here,
Do you
know.
talk to your dad at all?
Not in a couple of years. I talked to
And
my grandma.
he has no idea about Dang for the listeners.
Yeah.
Just
Your
kinda-
dad has no idea Dang's a company.
He like has no idea. Like literally like he knows he's like probably slapped a sticker somewhere.
Yeah, and
But
maybe
he-
your
but he
grandmother
doesn't-
mentioned it in passing, or they don't talk.
I mean,
or-
nobody knows.
Nobody
Nobody
knows.
knows, and
He's doing
that's
his own
it's
thing.
kind of like it's not the worst
Yeah.
feeling, you know, because it's like nobody's asking me for anything.
True, because
You know.
they probably would.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always just thought that, like, the way you put it had the fact that you never received that college fund and how you flipped that as a positive, as like you never, if you had gotten that money, you would have taken a different path.
Yeah,
right?
I wonder that. Would you have gone right to college and maybe never started Dang?
I have a feeling things would have been.
What
way
would you have
different.
studied in college?
I mean, I did go 2 years to
Oh, you
community
did?
college for business.
For business.
Oh, there you go.
That's
And
dope.
I-
You're using
Shout
that.
out to college, in the words of
I
Mills.
literally
Shout out to college.
learned nothing.
You learned so much more by doing what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
right?
Like my
Yeah.
car got keyed. That's what I remember. Like I remember I was all
Real
pissed off.
college is doing like you're doing, and you're just learning.
Yeah.
Oh, I've learned so much.
Well, what I was wondering is, do you have any advice for the like young entrepreneurs out there that are thinking about launching a brand or anything like
I
that?
mean, you got to start small, and
Yeah.
like I think, and if you do see a little bit of success, throw it to the side, keep going, and like don't think because you made this whatever like 40 grand or something, and you're like, I need that Cadillac or whatever the dumb thing, and it's like no, like it takes years and years. Like I'm learning every day.
Every
you know?
day,
Like
yeah.
it's crazy the shit I've done. You know, like the stuff I've ordered online, and I'm like how is this a good idea? And it worked. You know, like
Yeah.
like I just
Also-
it's winging it in like a calculated wing. You know,
Yeah, calculated risk and
yeah.
The other thing about people,
calculated wing.
it's a calculated winging it,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
So like also the other thing to think about is a lot of people think they want to be an entrepreneur, but like I see your brain is always on, and it's all on you. If Dang fails, that's your livelihood. Where when you work at a job, you can just check out and be with your family, and you don't need to you be married to it. Whereas somebody like you, it's like you're sleeping, and you always say you get these ideas in the middle of the night and stuff.
Yeah, no, and that's like why I haven't because I could hire somebody.
Yeah.
But nobody's gonna care more than me.
Yeah.
And like and I like that when I get like an email from a customer and like something broke or you know, like I'm real.
Yeah,
Like
you're hitting
I'm
them
not
back.
I'm not just like blah 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 like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like a real person, and I like, and if it's been 2 years and you paid $20, it's like buy
They
it.
hit you back after 2 years.
Oh, it happens. And it's like you ever go buy a steak dinner and get diarrhea? You don't end up not paying for that. You know, like
I do try to call though and be like, "What's up? I want a refund."
yeah. No, but
Stony
great
Buds
analogy.
is very familiar with eating a steak dinner and having diarrhea. I've actually witnessed it many a
but
time.
but like that's like could be
Rhea.
$40, and like people are too embarrassed to fucking say anything.
Celebratory Rhea. I'm not embarrassed.
Stony Buds is not embarrassed to tell you just had diarrhea. I remember specifically having, quote unquote, can we go to a bathroom, boys? After somebody learned a trick, I need to go have some celebratory diarrhea.
No, but like
True story.
like I had somebody that sent an email out, and they were complaining because the sunglass bag was the wrong color.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I'm like, but the bag I sent you is better. It's like a really nice
But it's not
microfiber,
Yeah.
and it wasn't purple actually. Which I was
in
like,
hindsight,
how?
you're thinking,
And she's like, I've worked 10
up.
years and whatever in the.
So did you send her the purple bag?
I didn't have a purple bag,
Yeah.
you know, and it was all over nothing, you know, like, but this was a huge deal. And it's funny how those little moments, like you don't let go of, you know, like,
But dude, it seems so rad to come full circle with everything. Like, you know, like you've obviously done well financially. Your house is paid off now.
Yeah.
Like it's
Crib's paid off.
Crib's paid off.
I did that
Jesus.
a few years ago. My accountant was like, well, you could, but you want the cash flow. And I'm like, dude, if I pay this off, it's going to make me work harder. Because then now I don't have as much, like,
I want to get my account back up to where it was.
And, like, he didn't understand that at all, that,
Really?
like, mindset. And I'm like, and I'm good. You know, like, it worked. It like, I need.
Got you working. You're trying to get your account back to where it was.
Exactly.
And you're going to work hard doing it.
Yeah.
It's cool just to see somebody who's been so successful. Like for me, I would be the cockiest dude. Like I would be driving around some like fucking baller whip, fat rims, just an asshole. But Beresford's just like, yeah, I'm like doing pretty good. I got a good, pretty good method. I don't know, life's good.
I kind of like. I think I've always appreciated the dude that's like done well. That's like in the fucking Toyota Camry.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
like
something to be said about that.
And like his jeans are all like ripped and like, but
he can wheelie.
I think you'll find a lot of the people that are trying to floss extra hard are the ones that have a straight up in debt. And
they're like
bank accounts
opposite.
Zero.
Yeah.
And they have to work extra hard to get that flashy thing going. And
I don't. And
they're
gives
like,
a shit?
yeah,
I don't like.
they think people give a shit. 'Cause
I don't
they're
like
always
when the
trying
cops notice me. That's
Yeah.
like a
See,
thing.
I'm sending him rims for his truck. He's just like, that's gonna
yeah.
be too flashy. The cops are gonna know.
It's like a weird thing, but I love like being in my F-150 and the cops are like still texting and driving. You know, like
That's not the case with Stony Bud.
Yeah, dude, the
catches
cops have their eyes
he
on
catches a case everywhere he goes.
case catcher. That's what I am, dog.
Well, dude, man, I think this has been a hell of a
Yeah.
conversation, dude. I think we covered. You got any other subjects off the top of your head?
I mean,
you're leaving out.
we could come back later.
Yeah.
I for
Yeah.
sure could like.
I'd like to
there's
do
a-
a check-in later and check on the bisque and see how the cheddar's stacking up.
We're mainly
The lobster bisque?
We're
Or-
mainly,
See if the cheddar turns to lobster.
yeah, we're gonna want to see that cheddar bisque kind of ferment into a
evolve.
lobster
Yeah,
bisque at
ferment.
one point.
I mean, the final words is like my life was crazy, but it's crazy how like you can take a mess and turn it into something, you know, like, and I've like, I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I could do it again, but I'm grateful.
Dude, it's incredible.
It's
man.
incredible.
True
We're
American dream right
Yeah.
here. You've done it.
And I have a green lawn now. So
And you
like
have a
that's
green
pretty
lawn.
that's
he
like,
was splitting hairs about buying new sod, and meanwhile he's Scrooge McDuck. Over here.
yeah. I'm like an
Isn't
asshole.
sod not even that expensive?
No, it was like $700.
It's like a couple bucks.
Yeah. But that's how I.
That's
treat
how you
myself.
are.
Yeah.
Dog,
I don't know why.
I need to get some of that rubbed off into my life. Man.
I like
It's
should
coming
be a
for you, bud.
financial advisor.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, he's yeah.
Yeah, you're a financial advisor. I need that.
No, I
dude.
should be.
Oh, yeah,
I,
yeah. We need some money.
'Cause I feel
I make him buy dumb shit. That's
Yeah.
my role in
You
his
help
life.
him?
I like it though because like if I go
He
to
needs that.
like if me and Grenier go to the mall, like all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I need this. I need to show him like
And
that.
normally you're not. If you went
No.
alone, you wouldn't even go
I
in
would
the
be
mall.
like, I don't need new shoelaces.
You know what our thing is we ball out on? Like on a rainy day when we're both sitting around, I'll just get a text from Beresford that says, hey, should we go buy some race gas?
Yeah.
And race gas is like 110 octane fuel you put in your dirt bike, and it's about $12 a gallon. So we'll go fill up a 5-gallon situation, 60, 70
Yeah,
bucks,
yeah.
whatever.
That's like
and,
eating steak.
and that's
for you
our
boys.
that's our kind of like
And it only smells good.
We've
smells.
made it.
Yeah.
We're not even. I'm not even fast on my dirt bike. I do not need this.
Yeah.
at
And
all.
the bike really doesn't run any better. I don't know. It's just
It
like
just smells good.
It's
we put it in
only-
our lawnmowers.
Yeah, it's
Just put it in your lawnmower.
yeah. It's I mean that, but that makes sense.
I shave about 3 seconds off every mow with this race
well,
gas.
I need to
your
get some of
RPMs,
this
your
stuff.
RPMs on the
I need to save up
blades are
and get
just-
some of this.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
If you need,
We got-
You're
hey,
a great guy
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
man.
we got a race gas guy. We'll hook you up.
Dude.
Man, I
did
think.
find a good supply. It's
Oh, you
out
got
west,
a new plug?
Yeah.
Shouts to the race gas plug.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All right, man. I'm gonna wrap this thing up.
'Kay.
We're so proud of you, Beresford. This has been
dude.
unreal, man. Thank you for coming and sharing your
People
story with
want
us.
some dang shades, man. Hit this guy's site up.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what's up.
We did say we're gonna hook somebody up, right?
Comment on the gram for the name that video part. We'll lace you up. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. It has been real. Over and out.